Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ben, and this is the Sony 55mm f1.8. Let's get into it. So this is actually a pretty old lens by this point. This was first introduced in 2013. It's one of the first prime lenses available for the Sony E-mount system, and it's still going strong. A few specs for you. It's a maximum wide aperture of f1.8, minimum aperture of f22, has 9 rounded aperture blades. This is made and designed by Zeiss and features its T-star anti-reflective coating. And a little bit of trivia for you, Zeiss sonar, it comes from the German for Sonne, sun, and they were originally given their name in the 1920s for having a very small, lightweight, simple design and a bright maximum aperture, which is still very much the case today. Build quality, this feels solid. It feels like it can take a beating. Not that this one has, but it's all metal construction. You do get a lens hood in the box as well. Half the time I'm using the hood for protection just as much as anti-glaring. This lens is not web sealed. There's no rubber gasket around the lens mount or anything, but Sony do say dust and moisture resistant. But from all accounts that I've heard, it can take on a bit of rain, no problem. It's a very small, lightweight lens. It only weighs 281 grams, and it's very nicely balanced with the likes of Sony a7 III, and I absolutely love it. I can carry this around all day, no problem. The lens mount is a 49mm thread. It might sound a bit unusual, but there's plenty of filters available, or you could just get a step-up ring. And the only feature on the lens itself is the manual focus ring. This is very smooth, nice bit of resistance to it, but it is a bit of a dust magnet. Talking about focus, this is insanely quick. It's probably one of the fastest focusing lenses in the Sony system, and it's 7 years old now. I use this for both photo and video. It's usually the lens I have for these YouTube videos. It's great in low light with the wide aperture of 1.8. Really nice smooth focus in video as well as photo, and it is completely silent. I have never heard a motor going at all using this lens. But bear in mind that the focus will also depend on your camera body. In terms of image quality, the most important thing, I've been blown away by this lens on many an occasion. It's so sharp, even wide open at f1.8. The images I've got from this camera have been tack sharp. You can now and then see some chromatic aberration, especially at f1.8, but stop down to f2.2, 2.5, and that's pretty much cleared it up. Flaring at f1.8 is a little bit of a whitewash, but you do get a nice bit of colour in there. And stop down to f22, get a nice bright sunstar, and again a nice bit of colour, which I quite like. There is minimal distortion from this lens, but if you do see any, it's just a one-click fix in Lightroom. Corner to corner sharpness at f1.8 isn't amazing, but stop it down to f2.8 and you'll soon see some difference. And as soon as you get past f4 and towards f11, throughout that range is tack sharp, corner to corner. Unparalleled sharpness to any other lens I've used, I think. And the colour rendition and contrast is outstanding. I think it's safe to say it's definitely holding its own against all the more recently released lenses. Personally, I absolutely love the 55mm focal length. I've shot with 50mm lenses before at weddings and events and stuff like that, and I've always found it almost just that little bit too wide. I couldn't quite get tight enough on the subject, and I've been dead happy with this. I'd say it's also one to consider if you're shooting on a APS-C camera like the A6600. 55mm times by 1.5 for the APS-C crop will give you almost an 85mm lens. I do make use of this in video where I can easily hit my C2 button to go into Super 35 mode, and using the one lens I've got the two focal lengths. If I was shooting on a A7R3 or A7R4, then I'd probably be doing that in photo as well. And then pairing that with a 24mm on my second body, I'd effectively have 24mm, 35mm, 55mm and almost 85mm between two cameras. I really love the bokeh produced by this lens. It's probably my favourite just that slight swirly characteristic to it. Obviously bokeh is completely subjective, you might absolutely hate it, but for my personal preference, I love it. The only minor downsides I can think of for this lens are that occasional chromatic aberration. There's no auto to manual focus switch, which is just a personal preference. I've got it set up on the camera body anyway, but I do like to have it on the lens. And it may seem a bit expensive for what it is, especially such a small lens. But it is now 7 years old, so there are some pretty good examples used. I think I picked mine up for about £550, so it's not bad at all. In conclusion, this is a little beast of a lens. Some people might be put off by the slightly odd focal length, the slightly odd filter thread size, and maybe the price and age, but trust me, don't be. This is a fantastic little lens for both photo and video work, and if I'm ever heading out with just a body and one lens, 90% of the time, it's this one. If you're shooting Sony full frame, I'd say you need to check out this lens. And that is it for this video. I'll leave some example images in a Dropbox folder. I'll put a link in the description. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please do hit subscribe down in the bottom corner there, and the notification bell as well. Give it a like if you liked it, drop a comment if you want to know more about the lens or if you have any thoughts to share. And if you're feeling very generous, this is a super hard time for us freelancers. Most of us, including myself, have lost all of our work for the rest of the year. So if you'd like to support the channel, I do have affiliate links down in the description, as well as my paypal.me link as well. So every penny helps, and it all goes to keeping me in business, which will mean I can carry on doing these videos. And on that note, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.